structure for the fall 2010. All can see, I apologize that standing remotely, but somebody else had the Jordan Auditorium booked to hold rank on me. So I'm Professor Murphy. It's my pleasure to introduce John Montgomery, but I want to introduce him properly. He's the founder of Bridgeway Capital, the Bridgeway family of mutual funds, and the Bridgeway Foundation. Since its inception in 1993, Bridgeway has differentiated itself in the marketplace through commitments to values of integrity and financial stewardship, which you'll hear about tonight. Other distinguishing aspects of Bridgeway's culture, servant leadership, and donating half, yes, I mean half, of the company's profits to nonprofit endeavors, involving all partners, the full-time staff in this philanthropic process, and a transformative community, world of change. And one other interesting thing about Bridgeway is they cap the highest paid partner's compensation at 7 times that of the lowest compensated partner. John counts faith as the center and source of his life's calling. You'll hear about 2 of his passions, peacemaking and ending genocide. John's wife Ann is here. Ann, wave at us wherever you're there. They're from Houston. He has 3 very international adult daughters. He has degrees in philosophy and engineering from Swarthmore, advanced degrees in engineering from MIT, and business from Harvard. His company is recently number 4 in the small and medium-sized businesses as a great place to work. He's also involved with the Shepherd program, which Todd Whitmore from our faculty in the theology department. So I won't take any more time. John, welcome to Notre Dame.
Thank you very much. It's great to be here. This is actually my first time to Notre Dame. I've been to Indiana with roots here a number of times. My mom was born in the state, and I have a brother that went here and the state to school, likewise a sister. So it's great to be back in the state, but this is my first time to Notre Dame. I'm very impressed with some of the people that I got to have dinner with and that I've met. I'm looking forward to this time. I have, this was just a teaser to put up here, but I have an audio clip, a video clip, that I'm pretty sure is going to run without the sound, and I'm going to talk you through it because it tells part of a point.
Come on. There's 3 reasons to pick me. Your move. In this line of work, you need strength as well as instincts. Put it right here. Check this out. Ready? Go! That's why you picked me. Your move. It's really only $2.59.
It's really only $2.59.
I hate it when I do this. Check it out.
Unbelievable.
It's time to pick me. It's your move.
Okay.
In this league, if there's a hole, no matter how small, you gotta be able to get through it. Check this out. In your league, you better pick me. Your move.
Blank that out, thanks. I figure it takes about 2 decades to be able to learn how to operate, to function at this level. So I actually had dinner tonight with a football player. I don't know how many of those moves he can do here from Notre Dame, but I promise you that at no time in my athletic career could I do any of those. There are some things, however, that take much less time, and I want to say almost 0 time, and that's what I'm here to talk to you tonight about. It's ethics in business, integrity, and while it's in business, these principles can apply to any organization. I've worked in government in the previous career, in academia, worked on staff and research at MIT, and founded Bridgeway Capital Management, the company that I've been working for 17 years now. So I want to give you an overview of what I want to cover, and this is by way of being able to make an incredible difference for the organization that you work in by way of integrity and the things that happen outside, within that, and as a result of being able to practice that at a high level. Those things are knowledge, power, and commitment. So we'll be covering those three, and I'm going to wrap up. I'm actually going to ask for a volunteer to do a role play with me for the first one. How many people here have done some kind of improvisation? Theater work, improv, in high school, in between, college? We got one taker. Are you up for some improv?
Sure.
Okay, come on down. And what's your name?
I'm Jasmine.
Jasmine, let's give Jasmine a hand here. Now, Jasmine obviously didn't know I was going to do this before coming in here. I want to set the stage for you. You've actually got, you're married.
Okay, I'm married. All right.
You're about 26.
Okay.
You've got a 12-month-old son. You are the breadwinner of your house.
All right.
You've graduated with an MBA, so I'm not sure what your degree program is right now. What is your degree? What are you here?
Well, I'm business and filming.
Okay. Undergraduate or graduate?
Undergraduate.
All right. We just promoted you into the graduate school.
Okay.
So, Pat, you're getting out, and it's your first day on your first job out of business school from Notre Dame. You're working for a bank, and you report directly to the president of the bank. Now, this is a pretty tough job for somebody, you know, right out of the MBA program, and you're pretty proud of it. Your friends are all, way to go. And it's your first day, and you've worked all morning, and you come in. Now, I'm going to play two roles. You're the role that I just described. I am, on the one hand, the president of the bank.
You're the president of the bank, right?
When I take off my jacket, I am going to be a customer of the bank.
Okay.
So, you're walking to, it's about lunchtime, and you're walking by to go visit your new boss.
Okay.
So he's been busy all day long, and you thought you'd just check in with how things are going, you know, in the morning. And his office is over here, and he's sitting there working around the corner. You walk by, and you notice the phone is ringing.
Mm-hmm.
The phone's ringing, and like, there's nobody around. His secretary's gone. His phone's ringing, you think, oh, maybe I better pick it up. Mm-hmm. You pick it up. Go.
Okay, so the office.
The phone's right here. His office is over there around the corner.
This is phone.
Yeah,
That's office.
that's
I'm
right.
walking
So
to
the
office
phone's ringing, you need to pick up the phone.
Okay, can I get like a ring sound?
Ring. Yeah, exactly. Ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Joe Smith. Who's this?
This is Jasmine Shows. Joe Smith, how may I help you?
I was looking for the president of your bank. This is really important, and I need to talk to him right away.
Well, Mr. Smith is not available right now. May I please take a message?
No, you don't understand. I am the second largest, I happen to know this, I'm the second largest customer you've got. I need to talk with your president right now.
Well, perhaps I can help you.
I don't think so. Could I talk with your president, please?
Well, how about I do my best to try to find him, and then possibly can he call you right back?
No. What about not right now? Do you not understand, Jasmine? I need desperately to talk to them. I'm about to go into a meeting seconds from now, and I need to speak to the president of your bank.
Okay, I'm going to do my best to try to find him. Can you please hold?
Yes.
Mr. Smith, there's a client on line 2. He said
Yeah.
it's very important. You said he's like your second biggest client.
Oh, no.
You said it's important that
Not
he has
that
to talk
guy.
to you now. He said he had to. He's about to go into a meeting in
Look,
seconds.
I have just had it with him. I don't want to talk to him. Tell him I'm at lunch.
He said that it's very important. You
Jasmine,
understand.
tell him I'm at lunch. I cannot talk to him right
Sir,
now.
with all
It
due
cannot happen.
respect, I think it's very important that you answer this phone call. Please. You sounded very serious on the phone.
Jasmine,
He's on hold right
I'm
now.
at lunch. Go tell him I'm at lunch. Thanks.
I'm
Where's the
very
president?
sorry, but he is out at lunch right now.
He's at lunch.
Yes,
Okay. He's at lunch.
yes,
That's just great.
I'm sorry. Is there anything I can do for you?
I'm coming up the elevator. Are you Jasmine?
Yes, I am. It's very nice to meet you, Mr. Smith.
You know, yeah. Is that not your president right there?
Actually, that is our president.
You told me he was at lunch.
Well, actually, what had happened was he was in lunch, but I think he was just coming out to grab a cup of coffee or go to the bathroom. But he was just in lunch.
Okay, thank you. Let's give Jasmine a hand. This is actually a role play that we do at Bridgeway for new hires coming in. So this is not the first time I've done it. As a matter of fact, I've done a number of permutations. It's really unfair that I do this to Jasmine, which is why we just gave her a hand. I want another person to give a shot at it. Who wants to play this out a different way? Okay, come on down. Come on down. And your name?
Alan.
Alan? Thank you, Alan. Ring.
Hello?
Hi, this is Joe Smith, and listen, I've got to talk to your president of the bank right now.
Okay, may I ask what this is about?
Yeah, I've got a major meeting right now, and before I go into this meeting, I've got to talk with the head of your bank. Could you please get him right now? This is urgent.
Ooh, let me check the schedule really fast. Looks like he's busy right now. Is there a message I can take to him?
I've got to. Is there any way you can get in touch with him?
Let me see what I can do. Give me a second.
Okay.
Hey, boss.
Yeah.
You got a Joe Smith on the phone out there?
Congratulations. I know it's your first day. It's really great.
I got a Joe Smith on the phone out there.
Oh,
He's
not
talking-
Joe. Golly, that guy. Listen, tell him I'm at lunch. I do not want to talk to him.
I take it he's caused some problems in the past?
And he's just, I mean, you know, he's a major customer, but golly, I just can't talk to him right now. I don't want to talk to him.
Is-
Tell him I'm at lunch. Just tell him I'm at lunch.
Okay, could I try to take care of the problem for you? And
No, actually, I'm going to have to talk to him sooner or later, but for right now, just tell him I'm at lunch. Thanks.
Okay, I'll do that.
Okay. Hello?
Gosh, Joe, how's it going?
Good. I'm just about to go into this meeting.
It doesn't look like he'll be able to get with you right now. He says he's really busy, and I have to respect that. But if you'd like, I can take your number and I can schedule a time for you to meet
Okay,
with him.
fair enough. Look, tell him I'm really disappointed. I needed to talk to him, but that's all right.
Joe, is there something I can help you with?
No, I gotta go. Bye. You're that new guy that just started today, right? What's your name again?
Alan.
Alan. I actually overheard you on the phone right now telling Mr. Smith that I simply wasn't available. I told you specifically to tell him that I had gone to lunch.
Okay.
And that's not So we need to get something really straight here the first day. When I've got a communication, you need to deliver it exactly as I said. I can't have you messing up communication between me and my second largest customer. Is this clear?
I understand that. My worry was as a follow-up thing. If Joe came in.
What's the likelihood of that happening? Sorry. I'm gonna get back to my work. But just so there are no more mess-ups, when I give you specific instructions, I need to be able to count. Can I count on you?
I can
In the
help
future.
convey the message you need to make.
Okay, very good. All right, let's give him a hand. Anybody else want to try this? Okay, come on down. Bring. Bring. Hi, this is Joe Smith. Say, listen, I'm going to a meeting. I have got an emergency. I have got to talk to the president of your bank. Can you please let me talk to him right now?
Oh, hi, Joe. How are you? I haven't talked to you in a while. It's me. It's Crystal. I always answer.
I'm sorry, Crystal.
Yeah, how are
listen,
you?
Crystal, I am going in a meeting. I've got to talk with your president. Could you please put him on the line right now?
Absolutely not. Right now, he's actually gone to lunch right now. But if you want to just talk about you, he would love to set up a business lunch with you sometime this week. Is that okay? Maybe tomorrow?
I'm coming up the elevator. Crystal, I got so frustrated with all your small talk, I just decided I'd come up here myself. I was walking down the street ready to go, what are you talking about? He's at lunch. I'm seeing him right here in his office.
No, he's actually not available right now.
I'm looking at him.
No. That's his twin brother.
All right.
But he does
give
understand.
Crystal a hand. The most aggressive response I've ever heard to this particular exercise was somebody says, well, I can't lie to him, and I can't, my boss is going to fire me on my first day if I tell the truth. So what is there to do? So the most aggressive response I've ever heard is the person takes the phone to the president and says, tell him I'm at lunch, and they say, you tell him. So that would be very aggressive. So there are a few places that people go in this. One is they follow the instructions, which says that they're lying. They're telling an untruth because he's right here. Now, if you've got the situation on your hand, you're supporting a spouse and a child in there, you're going to think twice about how you deal on the first day with a new relationship with your boss. I've had one person say, well, it's not like it's a lie, it's just like a little white lie. I've done this for my roommate before. And that person is actually a partner at Bridgeway today. That was her answer. However, in the process, she got assigned to me as her mentor on integrity for the first year, like on probation. She was great from a number of standpoints. The first thing I did with her was hand her a copy of Enron, the movie Enron, Smartest Guys in the Room. And I'm from Houston. Enron's a big deal where we live. And said, I want you to watch this film, and when you're done, I want you to think about where the people in this film first got off track. We all make little decisions all through life, and each one of them puts us a little farther up one road or a little farther up another road. So we're going to come back to this role play at the end. It may be obvious or it may be not. My strong encouragement for you is, as the small things come up along the way, use each one of them to ratchet it up in a positive direction at potentially a great cost to you, and we're going to talk about that as well. So, three areas here. Put my glasses back on. Knowledge, power, and commitment. The good news on knowledge is you've already got it. If you were selected as a student at Notre Dame, very likely from your family of origin, from your religion, from other people around you, you've got the basic moral fabric to be incredibly powerful in business, in your organization. So, knowledge is not the problem. But will you exercise it? Will you strengthen it along the way? Or will you squander it in self-betrayal? Self-betrayal is where you know you should do something. There's something going on, big or small. You know you should do it, and you don't do it. And I want to propose every time you betray yourself, you put another chink in that armor headed the wrong way. And we all do it. I do it. We just don't always see it. If I'm in traffic and there's somebody that cuts me off, do I go around and cut him off? If I know I shouldn't do that, if what's going on in my mind is, I really shouldn't do that, but dang it, he deserves it and I'm going to do it, I betray myself in that moment. If I lie for the president of the bank, and I know that that's not what I should do, I betray myself. But knowledge-wise, you've got what it takes. Power, I've got some more good news. You've got an amazing amount of power. I want to demonstrate this to you. Everybody got a pen or a pencil, something you can hold up? So this is your magic wand, and right now, in the next 30 seconds, you can have your wish. You can have anything in life that you want. Do you know what it is? If you do, write it down. Take your magic wand and write it down on a piece of paper in your computer. If you don't have paper, pen, seal it in your head, but I need an answer from you. It expires in 15 seconds. Don't squander this one. This is like anything that you want. And boom, you can have it. It's there. You've got 5 seconds. We're done. Okay, I want to sample. What's your? Anything you want. What's your thing? What do you want?
Large.
Large sums of money. Okay, that's one. That's an honest, authentic answer. Let's give him a hand. Yes.
Yes. An interesting continuation of your talk.
Okay, all right. I don't know whether that's big or small, but I'll take that one. Volunteer, who else would like to share your one thing? Back there.
I want more things. More wishes.
More wishes, okay. You're going to get that one, but okay, that's strategic at least. Someone else, one thing. It's all you can have. Over here.
Wisdom.
Wisdom, okay? Wisdom, general wisdom, wisdom for a specific thing. How would you know 5 years from now whether you got it or not?
I'd be content.
Okay, be content around wisdom. That's interesting. So let me ask you, let me follow up on this one now. What stands between you and the single thing that you want most in life?
Myself.
How so?
Temptations.
Temptations. Okay. Can you give an example?
To put money as the first and foremost.
Okay, money. Money because you need money to get the wisdom, or money because it's a temptation that takes you away from the wisdom?
Because it's a temptation to be that which is it.
Okay.
To that which is it.
All right, good. Anything else that keeps you away from it?
Sure.
Do you know what it is?
Rather not disclose that one.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, if you think right now about the thing that you would care about, that you would most want in life, what kinds of things come up for you? Age, money, power, position. These are the kinds of things that normally people talk about that stand between them and the thing that they want most that they don't have. Why is that? If it was easy, like they would already have it, right? If it weren't for some reason, some roadblock, you'd be standing on it today probably. Let's take one of those, age. So what does that conversation go like when you're 23? Let's say you wanted to be, well, let's say that you, gosh, at 23. So maybe you want lots and lots of money at 23, and your answer is, I'm too young. I want to propose that if your answer today is, I'm too young, then when you're 40, your answer will be, I'm too busy. And when you're 70, your answer will be, I'm too old. If this is truly the most important thing that you desire and that you want, and it's worthy and you're ready to go after it, I want to propose age is not the problem. And I'm going to give you an example of this from an area that I care a lot about. I have a life goal of ending genocide, to see the end of genocide before I close my eyes the last time. Very important life goal. There's, background and reasons for that. I am very serious about this intention and this goal. And it would be easy enough, well, about 6 years ago, I came in touch with two organizations. One was a bunch of college students at my alma mater, Swarthmore College, and they had started an organization that's now called Genocide Intervention Network. And this was the earlier days of email, internet, before Twitter. And this was a group of college students who were getting together, burning up lots of hours on phone calls with their congressmen. At the end of a year, they had 350 students from across the country in blue T-shirts on Capitol Hill for a day that they had organized. These now men and women, young men and women then in college, are responsible for some legislation that has passed through Congress. They were in Obama's Oval Office on the signing of it a couple of months ago. They are over the top amazing. Now, you're a congressman on the other end of a phone call from the people at this college who are undergraduates. They're not even in graduate school yet. You didn't know you didn't know who you were talking to. Today, there's a second organization called Invisible Children. Who's heard of Invisible Children? So maybe about a quarter of us. Likewise, this was an organization started by a 24-year-old film student, graduate of University of Southern California, who grabs his 21-year-old and 19-year-old surfing buddies in order to go document a film of the genocide in Darfur. They actually take $10,000 between the three of them, $10,000 of which was plane tickets. They flew on a day that the State Department said was a really bad idea to fly into the Sudan to go do a film and document. They took $3,000 of that $10,000, went on eBay and bought camera equipment. Over the top amazing. These people won't stop, and they're 24 years old. Today, this organization that these three guys started has 2 million members, contacts on the internet. One of the top. I mean, most large corporations would die to have the contacts that they have. And they're doing over-the-top amazing stuff. They're people of heart, of passion, but what they didn't do was they didn't say at age 24, I'm too young. Now, maybe they were just too naive or too stupid to know that they were too young, but after the fact, it's easy to know. Another example close to that would be for me, slavery. If the date is 1830 and you live in the United States of America and somebody says you're going to stop slavery in the U.S., you get laughed out of the room. Nobody thought that was possible. There were economic reasons in place. There were political reasons in place. There was no way that's going to happen. In the latter part of that century, everybody looks back on the date and says, well, yeah, of course that can happen. It's only after the fact that we realize that. There are things that you, as younger adults, can do that no one else can do. These Invisible Children went into Darfur. All the people in Darfur are gone. They said they've been ravaged. If you want to talk to them, you have to go to IDP camps. They went across the border into northern Uganda, start talking with people in the IDP camps, and then they noticed there are these children who are coming in droves in the evening and sleeping in the bus stops. They start talking to these kids, and in Uganda, English is a second language, so they find some people that can speak English. And they get in motion on stopping a different rebel war. Now, they didn't accomplish what they set out to do. So wish number one, what they started out, didn't do. What they did do by way of a documentary, by way of education, by way of connecting schools, high schools in the U.S. with new startup schools in northern Uganda is over the top amazing. Age is not your problem. Money is not your problem. Money is not your problem. If happiness was the reason that you want to acquire a lot of money, which, by the way, is what a lot of people do, or thinking when they go to business school, here are some interesting statistics. There are time series analysis, there are cross-sectional analysis, there are cross-cultural analysis, all that tell the same point. If you're making in our culture $10,000 and you get another $10,000, you're making $20,000 in a year, that's a major step up You get access to some health care. You get food on the table more regularly. There are a bunch of stuff that buys you. That's a measurable increase in the standard of living. 20 to 30,000, it's not as big, but it's still there. It's measurable. It's statistically significant from the psychologists that do this kind of study. From $30,000 to $40,000, it's there, but it's not statistically significant. And above $40,000, you're flatlined. So if you're an MBA student, how much money did you make before you started in the MBA program? Probably more than $40,000. So why are you here? I hope and I believe that the kinds of decisions that you make in the organizations that you start are worthy of an amazing life and passion. Power, however, is not what you lack. Commitment, however, is another problem. And I'm going to tee up, we're going to see how this goes on the audio side. I'm going to tee up a clip from a film called The Invention of Lying. This is a picture of what commitment can look like. This is a marriage vows here.
You agree to stay with Anna for as long as you want to protect your offspring for as long as you can? I do. And Anna, do you agree to stay with Brad for as long as you want to protect your offspring for as long as you can?
I do.
Before I pronounce these two, man and wife, is there anyone here in this building who believes they offer a better genetic matchup to either party?
This is our culture's, so this is a film where everybody has to tell the truth is the premise of the film. So when they've got marriage vows, they're signing up for what really people are going, how do we know this? So I don't want to offend anybody in the room around divorce. I believe there are reasons for divorce. But of the people that I have known most close to me, the kinds of things that I hear coming out of their mouth around ending a relationship are things like, sound like this. We grew apart, just didn't understand how hard it was going to be, met somebody else. There are a number of reasons in a relationship, and it's kind of easier to get your head around it when we're talking about marriage. I have a life goal, about 5 of them. One of them is to celebrate a 50th wedding anniversary. Now to celebrate a 50th wedding anniversary, a number of things got to happen. One, you got to start early enough, which I did. I was 21, so that was good. Now you got to live another 50 years. That's harder. I've got to take care of myself. At year 25, so Ann and I are on year 34 right now. At year 25, I made a commitment to her that the second 25 was going to be more powerful than the first 25. And when I talk about a commitment to Ann Montgomery, this is an over-the-top commitment. I am really serious about it, and I know that a number of hard things predictably are going to come up in the way. Are you able to make that kind of commitment in a relationship? The kind of commitment that goes deep, that treats and respects the other person as a human being, that gives you the pause to think about what life or the situation is like for them. If you can do that in a marriage, and if you ever do marry, I hope and pray that that's true for you, that's the kind of commitment that I believe you can have elsewhere in your life too. I've actually had a person in my office say, well, you know, we're not talking about like this is a relationship like it's a marriage. And in some obvious ways that's true. But the quality of the relationships can be very strong. And if you can think of commitment at that extravagant level, all kinds of things open up for you. Now, I have struggles in some of the areas of commitment. Time commitment is one of mine. Getting here tonight on time is going to be predictably a struggle for me. Coming to closure on things takes 5 times more energy from me than the person that sits in my office to my left and my right. Yet, if I'm living in this culture and that's the kind of commitment people expect, that's the kind of commitment that I want to model for the other people. What kinds of commitment do you have in your organization? What commitments do you have to your roommate right now? To the people on some study team that you're on? you have opportunities to your right and your left to practice that kind of commitment. You've already got the knowledge. I think that you know what the right thing to do is most of the time. If you can put yourself in the shoes of another person, you can usually get there. Different frameworks about how to think about that. Notre Dame is an amazing place to learn those things. But you've got the basics by way of knowledge. You've got the basics by way of power. And commitment is where, in our culture, we probably have to really ramp it up. So I want to close this tonight with some practical aspects of what some of this that I've been talking about looks like in the workplace. So some practical plays where you can make your commitment, where you can make your integrity stand for something and be incredibly powerful for what you can accomplish as an individual in an organization and what that organization can accomplish in the marketplace in the world. The first one is live off of half your income. Now, if you're already making $75,000 a year and I tell you that it's a good idea to live off of half your income, in America you're living off 103% of your income, and that's a big deal to jump down. There are actually ways to do that, which is you study the people that make half as much as you do and you adopt their lifestyle. It's actually not that hard. Interestingly, if you believe these studies that I mentioned before, your standard of living, your actual happiness may go up. And I have models of this in my life. I know a woman that lives off of Social Security and she's one of the happiest people I know. So if you're going to have a goal to have lots and lots of money, money can do some great things. But if you think personal satisfaction and happiness is around it, I would suggest probably not. If you're graduating, it's how much are you making this year as students? Not too much. So living off of half of your income when you actually have that income out of school is a great time to start. Perfect opportunity. Thinking back to our role play, if you have a family and your boss tells you to do something that you know is wrong, if you're living off of half your income and you've got a year or two of expenses saved up, you don't have the moral dilemma of, now I've got to trade off whether I'm providing for my family or whether I'm doing what I know is right in the workplace. That's the power of having those kinds of resources and cushion. Aim for balance in your life, the trade-off between work and family life, spiritual life, your physical health is a place that is not just good for you, that's good for your employer. Gives you the capacity to come into conversations when you might compromise your integrity. Surround yourselves with people of integrity. If I'm a Notre Dame student, I'm thinking about who my next employer is, money, I mean, come on. You work for one company and another company, maybe it's 10% difference. That's nothing compared to knowing that you're working for a company for whom integrity is at the top of the list. And by way of happiness and career opportunity and growth, I want to say it's everything. At Bridgeway, we say mistakes are the jewels of the organization, which means when you make a mistake, the organization should not be coming down hard and blowing you away. Creating the environment within which we can make mistakes, we can own our mistakes, we can put them on the table quickly, deal with them, not repeat them. That's not normal, and you can do that in an organization. You might say, John, you founded your organization, you can run any way the heck you want to. That would be true. You can do this as the lowest person on the totem pole in an organization. I'll come back to that possibly under questions. I've got an example of that. Check out assumptions. So if you're in a situation where you're going to tell your boss that you're not doing something because it doesn't meet your moral compass, it's wrong, make sure that you haven't miscommunicated with your boss. Checking those assumptions are good, and doing it at a deep level is even better. Two questions I like to ask are, is it true? Like, put facts on this side of the page. This is what was said. This is a verbatim. I saw the person walk from here to here. This is the story about those facts. The person playing politics. The person wants to screw the customer. The person wants me to lie on their behalf. Ask questions. Get curious. Make sure that you haven't miscommunicated. So is it true? And the second question is even more profound. Can you actually know that it's true? If the answer to that is you actually can't know, then you've got a different problem. So this is around communication. Draw people of integrity to the next level rather than making them wrong. A perfect example for the role play, the best answer I ever heard was looking your new boss in the face and saying, Mr. President, you need to know that I will never, at this company, I will never lie on your behalf. But I will also never lie to you. And if that's the kind of person you want working for you and on your team, I'm going to be an outstanding member of your staff. Now that's a powerful place to come in that conversation. Most people think that they're doing the right thing, by the way. You don't go to work in most any company with people that think of themselves as lies, cheats, and stealing and messing over their customers. They think they're doing the right thing. And you can help bring them to the next level. And you don't have to be their boss to do so. You can actually be their subordinate, which is where we usually start out after school. So the last thing I'm going to leave you with, and we're going to move to some questions, is the most powerful tool within this for me. And the way I think about it is this. And I mean this absolutely from the bottom of my heart, absolutely sincerely. Love is the most powerful intention. The most powerful intention. Don't apologize to anybody for practicing it in the workplace. Now, what is love? I came across a recent definition that plays out like this. I think it's interesting to ponder. Love is the commitment of the will for the true good of the other person. That kind of love you can practice up, down, right, left, everywhere you look. And tool, the most powerful thing I do at Bridgeway, the most powerful tool I have is prayer. And it's a very significant part of my life. So every member, partner at Bridgeway is on my prayer list, part of my spiritual practice, and I don't hide that. I'm careful about confidentiality. If somebody shares something with me, I let them know that it's not going to go farther if it's something that I haven't asked their permission for. But prayer is unequivocally, as the founder of a small, mid-sized organization, the most powerful thing that I do. With that, I'm going to stop and open it up for questions from the group. You can ask anything about Bridgeway. You can ask about issues of integrity for me in my history, marketing, pricing, hiring, wherever you'd like to take the conversation. We've got about 10 minutes, so let me open it up. Yes?
How do you deal with a lack of commitment from your employees when you see it?
Okay, two things. First of all, we don't use the word employee at Bridgeway. That's not just, well, it is semantics. It's the definition of the word. The actual derivation of the word, if you think about it, you've got an employer and an employee. The EE after the end of a word means you're my English teacher said, that makes you the kickee. The kickor is the lessor, the kickee is the lessee, an employee is the guy to whom, or the woman to whom things are done. And that's a bad model for what we're asking people to do at Bridgeway. We're asking them to take personal responsibility to step up. So we call everyone partners. By the way, the actual derivation of employee means used. It's from French, as I understand it. It means used. So to say somebody's an employee, I'm an employee, means I'm a used person. So that just rings really strongly the wrong way with us. So a lack of commitment on the part of one of my fellow partners. That's an opportunity for me to come alongside that person and find out what's going on with them. If I hired them, I know that they're good technically at what they do. I know that they've demonstrated in their past some kind of level of commitment. I've got some reason to believe that. So unless I badly screwed up in the interview process, which has happened a couple of times, by the way, then maybe something's going on in their personal life, something's going on professionally, and my job as a servant leader to them is to find out what that is, to come alongside them and say, you know, here's the data, and my expectations and your history previously at Bridgeway have been this. Help me understand what's going on. So that's my role as the leader of the culture in the organization or the leader in charge of a particular team. Another question? Yes?
I have a question related to Bridgeway. What's the assets under management, and what's the typical look at your clientele for the most, say, previous 5 years?
$2.6 billion under management currently. We're half, and have been for some number, say 5 years, about half retail in our mutual funds and half institutions through direct money management and also through our mutual funds. That's the makeup of our firm. Okay, yes?
Bridgeway donates so much money, if I remember right, like 50% of the
Yes.
income to the charity. Does this take a toll on your business practice in a very competitive business world?
So it is a very competitive business. The question was, we give 50% of our profits away. Does that take a toll on our competitiveness, on our business? So a couple of things. One is, if you're an airline company and your profits are routinely plowed back into fixed assets to buy planes, this model at 50% probably won't work. If you have a high inventory, so the financial structure of our business is a little unusual, that helps make this possible, although we have a very low cost structure, so our profit margins help feed this as well. What I can say is this: most companies can give away 10% of their profits. Every company out there can give away 1%. And it's not really about the number or even the dollars. It's about what you can do with money of a positive nature as a tool. So we like to say you can hurt a lot of people by throwing money their way. I actually had a man once tell me, "Show me one project, John Montgomery, that you've done that hasn't caused more harm than good." Now, you know, and then I started playing tapes back in my head. Well, I don't literally think that's true, but I'm much more keyed into to that. Back to the business side, though, of giving half away, if other business people understood the dynamics, the energy, the quality of the people that we're able to attract to Bridgeway as partners, the longevity that we're able to keep them there, plow training and a great place to work and love into their environment. Like, people don't typically leave Bridgeway. It's been 8 years since someone left my investment team. They went to law school. They figured out they were on the wrong path. I don't think I've ever lost someone to a competitor off of my investment team. So that's very powerful competitively. If other business people could see inside my head and see the dynamics of how that works, we would have a lot more corporate philanthropy within this country. And that is, by the way, a newly articulated goal at Bridgeway, is that we help other companies learn how to do this because we are a pioneer in the effort. Another question back here.
Yeah, can you talk a little bit about Bridgeway's stance on socially responsible investing, socially conscious investing?
Yes. Our largest fund is, we sub-advise a fund for Calvert, which is a socially screened fund, and Calvert does some social activism around that as well. So I'm a shareholder in that fund. I manage that fund. It actually was originally a Bridgeway fund that we merged into a Calvert fund in 2001 for reasons of distribution and administration, and they had the social research down, and we decided not to build up that as a capability. So I'm in favor of it. We don't represent all of our Bridgeway funds as socially screened, although we have some very minor level of social screening. The most powerful part of that I think is in our future is shareholder activism. When you're an owner, when you own shares in a company, that makes you owner. When you're an owner, you take on financial duties and responsibilities around that, to other shareholders, to the people that work for that corporation, and especially your customers. So to me, that's the most powerful part, and we haven't even scratched the surface yet at Bridgeway on what that, I believe, can look like. Although we've scratched the surface in a couple of areas on that. Yes?
You mentioned surrounding yourself by people with integrity. Does that include customers?
Yes, it does. So absolutely it does. As important as the people that you work with. And that plays out like this. In 2003, there were scandals in the mutual fund industry around people fast trading mutual fund shares, and they were skimming off price differences based on small price inaccuracies around pricing, notably in foreign stocks and small companies. We had one of the smallest company funds out there in the industry, so I got calls from hedge funds that goes something like this. We want to be able to trade in and out of your funds. And if you let us do this, we can give you $50 million under management in some new startup fund you've got. Things like that. And I actually deal on the phone with people like that. Our motto at Bridgeway, so you won't find this on our website, our internal motto is, if it's an operational decision you have to make, answer this question: what is in the best long-term interest of current shareholders, of current investors? Each word in that sentence is carefully phrased. What's in the best, not just good enough. What's in the best long-term, not this quarter and next quarter, but over a long period of time, because that's our product. Best interest of current shareholders. Now, in our industry, the game you play is you trade off the interest of your current shareholders against the ones that you want to attract to be able to grow, like the hedge fund calling up. So it's a detriment to our current shareholders that I would do this deal with a hedge fund. No one's going to know. Like, no one's going to know. I could do this. But I ask this question. I go, like, this isn't good for current shareholders. By the way, I'm a current shareholder. We're just not doing this. Period. We're not doing it. The next words out of one of these hedge fund guys' mouths over the phone was, I'd still like to come in and talk to you and see if there isn't something else we can do together. And what's going through my mind is, why would I let somebody through the back door that I won't let through the front door? Or vice versa. So I just said no. That's business that we walked away from. Soft dollar commissions are something that Bridgeway in 17 years has never done. The industry's catching up with us on this, and the feds are regulating it at a much higher level. But basically, you spend commission dollars that are generated by investor returns, and you turn around and pay the advisory firms, that's my firm's cost with it. And in the early years of Bridgeway, when we were struggling to get to break even, believe me, it would have made a difference. I mean, it would have shown up in our bottom line. But it doesn't meet our basic criteria. Is this right for our customer? And if you leave, so our philosophy on if you leave little tiny signposts everywhere you go, it's not the big ones, and it's not just what you say, but every little stone that somebody turns over around Bridgeway, 12B1 fees, which is a certain kind of fee, no soft dollar commissions. They didn't get in trouble with the market timing. P.S. They ran from it and can tell that story. There are about a dozen things like this. We little signposts that everywhere you look, integrity is number one. By the way, we say integrity is number one. Our 4 articulated business values are integrity, investment performance, low costs, and service. And those are in rank order. Integrity is above performance to us. And long term, we think that that's not just the right thing to do from a moral standpoint. We think it's good business practice. Maybe not in the short term, maybe not in how it looks, but it's the right thing, and people usually figure this out. Customers are not stupid. 5-year-old children can see through stuff. I don't know why we think that we can put something over on people in business practices, in marriages, or anywhere else in our life. Yes, right here.
Who are some of your beneficiaries, like the charities that you give to? And then also, where did you work before you were at Bridgeway?
So beneficiaries of our philanthropic part, Invisible Children that I mentioned earlier. One of my colleagues is on their board, as well as donations that we made before, early on, before they were discovered, before they had 2 million people on the web. An organization, GINet, I've just gone on the board, and we've given money to an organization in the UK called Aegis Trust. These are all in our core mission area of peacemaking and ending genocide. Outside of that, some Houston schools. There's a school that we were the first foundation to give money to called Yes Prep School. 8 years later, they're one of the top 100 high schools in the country. Their goal was to go into very low income areas where 90% of the kids had nobody in their family that had ever been to college. To graduate from this high school, you have to get into a 4-year college. Every graduate gets into college, and it's amazing. Their thing was top 10% of students in the community can get scholarships to the private schools. We don't need to help them. Bottom 10 are mostly special needs kids, and there need to be, you know, different people working on that. But the middle 80% can do just as well in performance if you give them a private school-like setting and opportunities as any kid that grows up in the richest part of Houston. And they're proving it out. It's over the top amazing. Cancer Survivors Fund was a local, we look, let me say it this way, we look for passion. We look for higher risk than most people are willing to fund. We actually don't mind funding something that's higher risk and goes under. Most people don't want to do that. You know, like if it's peacemaking and I fund 10 projects and one of them stops a war, like that's a hit. So we found our niche within funding. We look for passionate people that can't. I had one person, I asked him, why do you do this? Why do you do what you do? And he looked at me and like I had just asked him the stupidest question on the face of the earth and said, I can't not do this. That's a person that's unstoppable. And that's in the hearts of every person in this room. You are unstoppable if you exercise it. And sometimes it doesn't go exactly like you expect, but sometimes what you do get is better than what you set out for, like the guys headed to the Sudan. I think we're over on time. Pat?
I'm sure John will stay after to answer any specific questions. Our next Berges lecture is October 12th in the Jordan Auditorium. John, thank you very much for a real.
Thank you.